Total Drama for me, and I feel like for a lot of other people, for me, it was one of my favorite shows ever growing up. Like, it doesn't matter what season it was, I was locked in, tuned in. I mean, more seasons were locked in more than others, but today we're going to talk about a character who really may never get a happy ending, who got treated the worst, and I'm talking about Ezekiel. Bro, that man Ezekiel, he has the most tragic. It's crazy how like we always say like people in Total Drama never actually get like seriously messed up, but it like goes over people's head when it comes to Ezekiel. So today we're gonna take a look at that. Make sure you like and sub up for more. Check out the other stuff I have on my page, and we gonna get started because man, Ezekiel, that's tragic. We'll start off with Total Drama Island, obviously, because it's the first appearance of him. And I'm not gonna lie, Total Drama Island, he was pretty. He was just a regular person. Like you gotta transport your mind back then when the show first came out. Now Chris did give him a talk in the beginning, and looking back on it now, you can kind of be like, okay, they kind of set him up a little bit. But back then, watching it, it's like, oh, Zeke's here. He's homeschooled. And by the way, being homeschooled, I'm not homeschooled. I don't know nobody that's been homeschooled. Being homeschooled doesn't make you this slow. That's the best way I can put it. So, bro, just look at Ezekiel. He just looks, bro, if you stare at Ezekiel too long, he starts to look weird. But anyway, bro was really sexist. I don't know how else to put it. He was sexist. He was dumb. There's people that's been homeschooled that aren't on his level of slowness when it comes to like whatever. But wasn't he raised by like animals or something? It wasn't animals. I don't know what it was. But anyway, when he first appeared, Total Drama Island, he set himself up for like he set himself up. I'm not gonna lie, he did that to himself, and that was like really the humble beginnings for him for real. And then he started to get some fame a little bit because everybody got fame after Total Drama, but then he bought like a Z chain, which was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But it wasn't that bad. Ezekiel was just any other character. He got eliminated at first. It was the beginning of the series. Y'all know how it go. Total Drama is still that show. But it wasn't too much of it when it came to Ezekiel. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I didn't think too much about it when it came to Ezekiel. You know, I didn't think he was gonna be a running gag being eliminated first every time. That's kind of messed up. They did him wrong with that. But they do him way worse later on, obviously, as we get farther in this video. But he deserved to be eliminated first. He was sexist. Like you can't do that. Even though it's crazy back then they put that in the show, but even then versus now, you still can't be like that on any show. But don't worry, it gets worse from here for him, man, because it's crazy. Now I don't know if he skipped action or he skipped action, but I don't know why. I don't know if they explained that in the beginning or not. But he skipped action. So we move on to World Tour, where it seemed like Zeke was better, but he really wasn't. Like he started to like this is where it was like, okay, they're trying to do something with him low key because he was the main focus point of episode 1 and 2, but they made him talk a lot and Chris tried to get rid of him. Chris didn't even want to deal with him. And then bro, he lost the stick in the challenge. Bro, they set him up and failed. That wasn't even Zeke's fault to be real. None of this is Zeke's fault. Like the alligator ate the stick. He got set up to be eliminated first. This was just bad cap. So then Zeke gets eliminated, whatever, right? He's out of there. They go Duncan, stupid self. And then he hangs on to the plane. Bro, when I first saw this, I was like, ain't no way Zeke is about to really be that guy. And so as the show went on progressively, I think they explained why he got feral. He was living with rodents and toxic and all that. But as the series went on, the World Tour went on, like he started making these appearances. They even put him in a challenge to be that guy. And then he just started making random appearances. Now, for him to turn green and feral and all that, just hanging out with animals is kind of crazy. They really messed up this kid's life from being homeschooled. Even though I think he was raised by animals originally anyway, I think. Or something like that. But then he started making these random appearances, like I said, in World Tour. And it got progressively worse. He got dumber and dumber. But the one thing, look at that hunch. The one thing that always was on his mind was that $1,000,000, which is crazy. It didn't matter how far. I wish they would have had a season where he was there as, bro, you know how funny that would have been if he would have got eliminated first as the Pharaoh character? They got to bring him back. I don't know if they'll ever bring Ezekiel back. Bro, they need to bring Ezekiel back. That would be the top 5 funniest thing. I don't know what the newest season of Total Drama got. I did watch that. But I promise you, it will do double the amount of ratings if you bring back Pharaoh Zeke. He pretty much can live forever. So I don't know. I kind of liked it when I was watching World Tour back then, man, because he was sporadically coming back, and it was like they made him a big deal while not making him a big deal at the same time. That sounds crazy, especially when they brought him back for the challenges and all that. Oh my god, this man Zeke. And then you start to feel bad. As you really think about it, you start to feel bad. This is really Chris's fault, but it's his fault kind of staying. Because if he would have just got off the plane, I understand his, you know, resiliency and all that, but it kind of caused him to go like this, which is still crazy. Like, how do you even like for real get like this? There's no way hanging out with animals did that to him, but I don't know. Then his, appearances start to get sporadic as we get to Revenge of the Island, where he's going. Now, Revenge of the Island was goated. I don't care what nobody said. Lightning is my favorite, which is crazy because he came so late. Like, what is it, season like 4 or 5? Bro, Lightning is my favorite character of all the time. Bro, I gotta stop talking before I get off topic. Like, I can go on a 50-minute tangent about Lightning being the GOAT. There he is, not Lightning. But, yeah, as as the series went on to Revenge of the Island, we start to get Ezekiel a little bit more. This was actually pretty nice, where he came out of the hole and this is where, we had glimpses of, the old Zeke, I feel like. Where he started to like a girl. He was trying to get out the hole. He was trying to not better himself. But it seemed like Ezekiel was on the up. It's still really sad. Like if you really think about the journey of Ezekiel, it gets really sad. You may shed a tear if you look at a quick edit, a sad edit, and really think about it, it could make you probably shed a tear. But in Revenge of the Island, he didn't really do too much. I'm gonna be real. I mean, he did. He did in the next season after this, he did have a big part. But Revenge of the Island, he kind of showed up, was like an obstacle for people in the challenges and all that, but it wasn't really nothing major with Ezekiel. I feel like the people that was making him was like, all right, we're getting closer to the end of Ezekiel's cycle. I wish they would have just somehow made him better in a way. You know what I mean? He seemed like he's doing all right. He has a whole army and all that. Definitely better than he did when he first started. Now it seems like he controls all of this, but man, sad story for Zeke still. Now we move on to the final appearance of Mr. Zeke, man. Think this was All Stars, I believe. It was like the 100th episode special, whatever it was called. And man, Mr. Zeke was back one last time. He was looking to eliminate Chris for good, bro. And like I said, every time I look at Zeke, I just feel bad, man. Because it's like, he didn't have to go through this. If he would have just went off the plane and World Tour. No, it's crazy because Chris was bullying him and egging him on like he wasn't really hanging above acid, bro. Like, this dude, Chris, is a menace to society, bro. He don't care about nothing. So, but if Ezekiel just would have just got off the plane and World Tour, this probably would have never happened to him. But at the same time, I understand his determination to win, bro. And to talk about it, he was only eliminated first twice. Now, if he would have got eliminated first in action, if he would have been a part of action, then that would have made more sense 3 times in a row. But I guess you could have motivation being eliminated twice. You know what I mean? I feel like Ezekiel should have been in action to really justify it. But this was the last appearance, as far as I know, for Zeke. I know there was a clip where it's like he came out the hole and then he was greeted by animals and it was a happy moment. But that don't count. That's real, but that's not real. That don't count as a happy ending for him, bro. I need him to somehow, it's a cartoon, it's a TV show, whatever. They could somehow bring some type of antidote thing and bring him back. They should have brought him back in the newest season and the seasons after that, but I don't think they did. They need to bring Ezekiel back. I don't know if Total Drama's still going to keep going, but that was the fate of Ezekiel, man, because, man, his whole story from Island and now is still the most insane thing I feel like in TV show history, for real, to be honest. Justice for Ezekiel. And that'll do it for Mr. Ezekiel, man. His story's kind of sad, to be real. If you think too hard about it, you might actually shed a tear. But all in all, Ezekiel needs to come back, bro. Justice for Zeke again. Make sure you like and sub up if you enjoy stuff like this TV show related stuff. Check out my other videos where I do TV show related stuff, man. And we just keep it real around here. Again, make sure you like and sub up if you made it this far. If you enjoy this type of stuff where I'm really just talking about the show. It ain't nothing too fancy with it. So, again, like and sub up if you enjoy this type of content. I appreciate everybody that stuck around, that got this far. Man, justice for Zeke. Lightning will still be the best Total Drama character, in my opinion. I don't care what nobody say. Zeke, He cool. If they ever bring him back, I feel like the ratings will go like through the roof. But I'll catch y'all next time. All right, bye.